So I'm here with Nicholas French, who, Nicholas, you're known as the avant-garde master. So you've won NAHA 4 times.
Yep.
Tell me what avant-garde means.
Well, avant-garde is a real exercise in the sort of mood of the moment,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I always think you have to reach for the moon, and if you're lucky, you'll catch a star on the way down. So it's basically an exercise in balance, proportion, and shape,
Mm-hmm.
and different finishes of hair,
Mm-hmm.
and how we can be so creative, you know. And I think that it really stems from, you know, fashion designers can buy their cloth and they can dye it, and hairdressers, we're dealing with, you know, real live people. So we actually, it's a very different exercise in, you know, in beauty, making people feel good inside, you know. I think that's very important to really seek different shapes, seek different finishes, and I think it's inspirational for the hairdresser to see these hopefully wonderful shapes of beautiful hair, you know, with the clothes and the whole look to it, and then it trickles down.
Well, and interestingly, you know, when we talk about trend,
Yeah.
you know, most consumers,
Mm-hmm.
they really aren't too excited about a new trend. They like the look of it, but they're scared to do it.
Yeah, that's a very good observation.
Any advice for our stylists of how to bring a consumer from something classic into a little bit more of a trend-driven style without scaring them?
Change is always difficult, and I think with trends, it's just a feeling that's in the moment, you know? You know, fashion is fleeting, but technique always stays the same. So that's something the hairdressers should really think about, getting the techniques and getting the polished hair, all that kind of stuff, really put together. And then just take pieces of trends. Mm-hmm. Take it down to where the personality of the client is.
How do you keep yourself, because you've lived through all of these changes, but you're still current. So how do you stay current, and how do you stay on trend?
Well, I think, you know, it's like you have to have a nose for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people, like a great friend of mine, actually, he's a brilliant hairdresser. He said, "I'm a great copyist, Nick, but you're the one who's sort of always seeking different looks and different feels and different moods." And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's really funny because you have to have a sensibility of what's going on around you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and really look at the youth culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important to be, it doesn't matter how old you are, to know what's going on. So I always look at, like, music was a great inspiration to me all my life. And music has changed fashion quite dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
And that sets a sort of mood. Having been through the whole, everything, because I've been hairdressing for 50 years now. And you have to keep up with it because, you know, it's very, very important to be on trend. And it's all about education. It's all about, you know, look at it now. We attend all these classes and they're pretty amazing. We go to all these places and,
So
know?
invest in yourself.
Yeah,
right?
invest in it. You have to invest in education.
Yeah.
You know, invest in your skill level, and I think that's terribly important.
Yeah, and if you look at how fast trends change
Yeah,
nowadays,
yeah.
you need to stay investing
Right
in
on it,
yourself
because
constant.
you know, I always say, you're not just a hairdresser. You know, you cut hair beautifully, but you're not just a hairdresser. You change people's lives.
Right.
You know, you can make people happy. You know, with these, I always hold my shears out and I was speaking in American shears, scissors out and a comb, and I said, with these 2 implements, you can make people happy, you can get them married, you can get them divorced, you can create amazing arguments at home in a family. So be careful what you do, because you've really got to understand how powerful you are, and hairdressers are a big part of the community.
Right. All right. Well, thank you so much.
My
I
pleasure.
appreciate you spending time with us today.
It's always a
So-
pleasure.